I need money. I need money. Oh, I need GoFundMe money. Let's find the vibration. What's up, aliens? It's Simply Elle, and I'm back again with another video. If you're new here, welcome, welcome. We're happy to have you. If you're not, you know it's the regular madness. It's the regular madness. Thanks for coming back. So today's installment of Simply Drama is the conclusion to the video I made to Bricks and Stones, aka Brickgate. I felt like the video that I previously made, the first video I made, was missing some key points as new information continues to be revealed till today. But before I log off on this issue, I have to add my thoughts on the possibility that the influencer at the center of this whole debauchery might have faked getting hit with a brick in order to pull off a GoFundMe scam. Apparently, this isn't the first time. I'm also going to add my thoughts on the woman who compared women to diamonds and rubies and other women to dirt and rocks. Bombastic side eye. Criminal offensive side eye. Before we get into the mess, please take a second to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell in order to be notified every time I drop a new video. I also want to thank my solidified aliens because the channel has reached 100 subscribers. Oh my god, I'm so emotional. I'm really grateful for all your support and I hope to continue being deserving of it. Alright, let's get into this mess. Earlier this month, an influencer by the name of Rhoda Osman came onto Beyonce's internets to let us know that a man hit her with a brick in the face for refusing to give him her number, and that all the black men just stood around, watched, and did nothing. Many people, myself included, had a lot of thoughts on this issue. I discussed this in my previous video. If you haven't watched it, it'll be linked up top, and I'll also put the link in the description box below. Some people felt like she can't expect people to put themselves in dangerous situations to come to the defense of a stranger. Some other people felt as though she deserved being hit with a brick in the face because of her views, her beliefs, and all in all, her social media persona. Some asked, why the emphasis on black men? How did black men enter this conversation now? Then there are people like me who felt like regardless of how she acted, as long as she didn't hit this man first, she should have never been hit. I'm going to stand 10 toes on that forever. She also should have gotten help in a place where there were multiple people present. That's how I feel. I ended my last video with a segment titled The Simulation. I mentioned that there were rumors that she might have faked this whole incident. The rumors are now growing, with many internet people digging and investigating in order to get the truth. There was a woman who claimed to be Rose's former best friend. She stated that this is Rose's modus operandi. Okay, this is what she does to tug at heartstrings and get GoFundMe donations. The men who were featured in her original video were also filmed saying that they tried to help her after she claimed to be hit. They stated that they did not see the incident happen, but they still called the police. Someone who claims to be a nurse in the clinic where she was treated stated in form of a direct message that she came in to get her face drained and that the swelling she suffered was caused by an allergic reaction to something that was injected into her face, something possibly being saline of some sort. I don't understand that, but whatever. Ro has opened 3 GoFundMes as far back as 2020, I believe, as a result of someone assaulting her. Auntie, 3 times in the past 3 years? Like, what are you doing? Anywho, Ro has also made a response video though, showing documents like her police report and hospital form. On one of the forms, it states that she came in to treat injuries due to blunt force trauma and that she had suffered a broken facial bone somewhere in the face. The testimonials of the individuals who claim to be Rose's former best friend and the nurse at the clinic, those are very sketchy to me, because everybody saw the man that was there, that was a troublemaker, whatever, you know, the guy. We all saw that man making video after video claiming that he was there, witnessed what happened, and informed us that she deserved to be hit, only for it to be revealed that he lied and was nowhere near the area when the incident took place. That alone is enough reason to take what they might have to say, they being the best friend or the former best friend and the nurse, with a grain of salt. Another thing is that nurse girl, she would have had to risk her job, her license, by speaking on a patient's case and personal information for reasons unrelated to providing care, and on social media. It also makes me question the reasoning behind doing that. Something as risky as violating HIPAA as a healthcare professional, a healthcare provider for the internet. The internet! You must not value your job, because it won't be that hard to narrow down, given that you yourself stated in the DM that you were there that night, and you also mentioned that what you were doing can result in you losing your job. So auntie, why not just Michanu? What the nurse is saying contradicts what was in the documents that Ro provided. Let's also take that with a grain of salt, because at this point I don't know who to believe. So there's a lot of contradictory statements. Is there a way to fake a doctor's hospital form, you know, to make them look official? I don't know, you guys let me know. Since I've made my feelings clear about the situation in my previous video, I wouldn't spend too much time on it in this video. If the situation were real, I don't believe her personal life should be relevant when it comes to deciding whether or not to provide help. I completely understand not wanting to get involved because you fear for your life and having a lot to lose, because to be fair and honest, anything can happen. But all that extra stuff about her that you can't possibly know as a stranger is a result of your own personal biases and not safety, because again, how do you know what a stranger believes in, their political affiliations, or what they do in their personal life? You don't know that. And if someone does not physically attack you first, there is no reason to get physical with them over words. I'm gonna stay consistent on that. If we go far back, I made a video about the Will Smith situation. This is essentially slightly similar. Will Smith went up on the Oscars, slapped Chris Rock, LOL, slapped Chris Rock for words, joke, insults, whatever you want to call it, they're words. And you don't need to put your hands on somebody because you didn't like something they said. To me, it shows someone with a weak mindset and questionable character. It is what it is. If she faked the incidents, if this is fake, which it's looking like more and more by the day that it's fake. Side note, this is not in my script. I saw on the internet that this girl was at the club twerking upside down, meaning that her head, remember, cranium, medulla oblongata, frontal lobe, she was twerking head down on a table at a club. Is twerking that serious? Are you not concussed, ma'am? I lost faith. Not even that I'm losing faith, I lost faith. I don't really believe her as much anymore. Like I was saying, if she faked it, she would be a piece of, you can fill it in. I believe she needs to be penalized for it some way. She received tens of thousands of dollars because of this, and if it's possible, everyone who donated should be reimbursed for whatever they sent. But I don't know how possible that is at this point. I recently did see someone connected to the BLM organization. That person was recently sued for fraud because the money that was donated to her was used for something other than what it was meant for. People were deceived into giving money, and if there's a legal precedent, she needs to be prosecuted for that. Okay? I also believe that there should be some serious jail time for people that do stuff like this. It's not funny. Okay? It's people's money, which I'll get to that. later. I hate that she used such a realistic situation, a situation that happens to women almost daily and in different capacities. She knew the online climate between black men and black women, and she played into the vitriol some of them have for each other for money on GoFundMe. They say these days sympathy is the new way to make money. All you have to do is be a victim, and for some reason people will start giving you their money. Like, oh my god, my face, oh Jesus, I need money, oh, I need GoFundMe money. People like people like Carly Russell, there will always be a reason that somebody somewhere will feel like they have the right to be insensitive to actual victims of violence against women. It will then be under the guise of, we're getting to the truth. We want to dig deep. We are all on socials and we've seen the Cheesecake Factory lady, right? That turns out, thank God I didn't make a video on this, because then I'll have to be doubling back like, oh guys, it is cute. It's fake. It was staged. I didn't see as much energy put towards finding out whether or not that video was real as they did to this woman, which granted, honestly, it's good that people investigated. But I did have this thought that a lot of the reason why Rose's situation was so looked into, basically scanned under a microscope, is because of reasons that you probably know. Because in the Cheesecake Factory lady, it was very clear to almost everybody that woman was out of line, right? It's literally like, I don't know anybody in their right senses that would defend what that woman was portrayed to be doing in that video. The video where the woman was seemingly obnoxious, like incredibly disrespectful, incredibly entitled. Nobody was out here breaking their necks to do research on if it was real or not. But in this situation, we're getting to the truth. So like I said, people like her, people like Carly Russell, people like Justice Smollett, people like them, the Oaks community of the world, best in Oaks. People like those will always give weirdos a reason to be insensitive, to carry out misogyny, to carry out racism, to carry out homophobia, to carry out anything. Because you're like, oh yeah, what if it's a lie? Remember that girl, one time she lied. Remember this girl, one time she lied. She faked the kidnapping. Can we please stop using real life problems that people actually face to just gain unnecessary sympathy and to, scam people out their money? Like, please. I hope that she faces some legal consequences if this is proven to be fake, and if it's something that can actually happen. I would actually like her to face some consequences, because it doesn't look like she's done this 3 times. Where is the deterrent? Where is the deterrent? Why is she so bold that, yeah, I'm just gonna go and lie and then throw black men under the bus so that I can gain sympathy from women who just automatically hate black men just for being a black man, and over like stereotypes? GoFundMe champions, best in donation. I won't feel right without saying this, and I know some people might not like it, but please, I'm begging you in the name of Jesus, I'm begging you to stop giving people your hard-earned money only for you to be upset that you were tricked. Silly rabbits. Sorry. This might seem insensitive, but I have to say this is part of taking accountability. Okay, if you give away money, then you have to be prepared to let that ish go. You need to be prepared to let it go, especially if it's just because you feel bad or sorry for someone and you want to give them a gift or a blessing. You cannot worry about how that money is being used. You can't worry about how it's being spent. You can't police every nickel, penny, dime. You can't. Penny, nickel, dime. I'm sorry, Nicki Minaj. I'm sorry. If it was a kind gesture for whatever reason and you wanted the person you're giving it to do as they please with it, you can't then be monitoring what they do with their gift. Auntie and uncles, if you are giving somebody a gift, you need to be prepared to just, free the money from your mind. They can do whatever the hell they want with it at this point. But, gigantic but, if you're the type that would like the money to actually be used for what it was intended for, or for what you were told that it was going to be used for, then it would be greatly advised to wait until you know the full situation, the full story, because sometimes that money will never come back home. Sometimes donating is entering one chance. Just bakam otilo, okay? It's never coming back. So I would advise people to keep their money in their, like, why it seems like to me that people just like giving away money just to be like, oh, I'm so nice, I'm so altruistic, oh, I'm such a philanthropist, and then you now complain later when you realize that you've been tricked or you've been scammed and whatnot. Why is it so easy for you to give away money, even if it's $1? When I give money to like homeless people, those are the only people that get money from me, besides shopping and food. If I'm giving my money away to a homeless person, I don't care what they're doing with it. I just want it to do a nice thing. I have changed. Let me just, make someone's day. Let me make them happy. Whatever they use the money for is not any of my problem. I've done what I wanted to do. It was in my heart to give it away, to give the money. So I'm not now gonna go follow that person around. Oh, you use my money to buy cigar, can you come, whatever. I don't care. In my mind, I was helping. In my mind, I was giving a gift. So whatever has been done with that gift, Musbakamu is gone, right? I'm talking to people who are bothered by what their donations are being used for. If you're that kind of person, maybe you hold on to donate because you are the one giving the money, Abby. You're the one giving the money. Wait till you find out if it's real, if it's actually something, if the person actually needs money for, because this woman raised $50,000. For what? She got hit in the face with a brick. She went to the hospital. Fine. What hospital bill is $50,000? Her getting hit with a brick, I don't know if that affects her income. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe as an influencer, like, I'm just not understanding. Money did not leave my pockets over this situation, and I don't know why people are always so generous for the wrong people. People that actually need your help are there, and you're donating to somebody that might have lied. We're moving on. Amidst the discourse of protection for Black women, for women, guys, please see what this one auntie had to say. I beg you.
In regards to Black women not being protected, let me first state the obvious. No man should put his hands on a woman. We desire protection, but sometimes what we don't understand is that true protection comes with a level of control. Bodyguards are a good example. A bodyguard will make their client leave from a dangerous place. The bodyguard has to know all the details: who, what, when, where, why, and how. And the client has to listen to the bodyguard and follow the instruction that the bodyguard gives them. It's really an agreement between all parties involved. When the person who needs protecting does not follow the instruction in the direction of the protector, it puts the protector in a situation where they're more likely to lose their life. I have 4 brothers and a father, and I listen to their instruction even when they're not around. They have told me to stay away from certain places if I'm by myself or if it's late at night. They've also advised me not to be drunk or high in certain situations. Even though my brothers, my dad, and the men in my life protect me, I in turn protect them by listening to them and following their instruction. They don't have to come to my defense in some wild scenario, because if I listened to them, I wouldn't have been there in the first place. And this is another thing I feel like is pertinent to say, and I know folks ain't gonna like this one. I don't have sons right now, but when I do have sons, I'm gonna teach them that there's a difference between diamonds and dirt and rubies and rocks. Rubies and diamonds are often in jewelry stores. They're in glass cases, they're secured, there's an alarm system, there's a lot of layers of protection because those things are valuable. But you could pull over to the side of the road and find some dirt and rocks. Expecting a man to risk his well-being, his future, and his life on someone who does not see value in themselves or the man is asinine. That's a very asinine thing to ask. All I'm saying is, protection comes with a little bit of sacrifice. It comes with a little bit of control. And me personally, I feel that what I have to sacrifice and the amount of control I have to give up is 100% worth it to receive the protection that I've been getting my whole life. I made a video about Black women and preventative protection, and how if you want someone to protect you, you're gonna have to listen to them and try to avoid being in dangerous situations. And because you guys didn't like what I said, I received death threats. People wish that someone would bust my car window and pistol whip me. People wish that some people, or that they themselves, could find me and hit me with a brick. All these young girls that are out here that are still wet behind the ears but are aging like milk and bananas, calling me old. I'm not expecting y'all to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that, because I know y'all don't care. But I'm gonna say what I want regardless, because I don't receive my self-worth and validation based on what people say about me online. I proudly grew up in a time before all of that, and my self-worth and validation is based on my principles and my character. Some of y'all wouldn't know nothing about that. So I'll say this again, for the people that have sense, preventative protection is the best kind of protection. For every other crime that exists, we understand that preventative measures is the best way to avoid said crimes. If I don't want my car broken into or stolen or vandalized, I'm not going to leave it unlocked with valuable things in my car. I know people personally who have gotten their car broken into several times. I've never gotten my car broken into, knock on wood. If I don't want to get robbed, I'm not going to go to the ATM late at night by myself because that is not a wise decision to make. And you guys can say, well, that still doesn't stop people from getting robbed or their car getting stolen or whatever, but it greatly minimizes the risk. You feel me? Same thing when it comes to condoms and birth control. Condoms and birth control are not 100% effective, but it significantly minimizes the risk of you getting an STD or you getting pregnant. In addition to taking preventative measures by not being in dangerous places by yourself, actually listening to the men that tell you to take preventative measures is another way that will help to ensure your safety as a woman in this world. And to the ladies who have never had a man love them enough to try to prevent something bad from happening to them, you honestly have my sincere condolences. And to those of you who say, why don't you just tell men to stop abusing women? Why don't we hold them accountable? If telling someone to stop being an abuser, a thief, or a murderer worked, then the prisons, we wouldn't have a need for prisons. None of that would exist. So excuse me for living in the real world. I'm a very proactive kind of person. We can't change what happened in the past or things that have already happened to women, but we can help minimize the risk of those things happening in the future. I received death threats. People wish that someone would bust my car window and...
But do you see the irony of it all? I'll explain it. Right now, you are receiving threats against your well-being from previous posts that you made. A lot of people didn't like what you said, me being one of those people. But like you stated in this video, you're going to say what you want to say because you have that right. That is your prerogative. You should be able to state how you feel, state your opinion, and move around. And people can disagree, but you do not deserve that type of backlash. Do you think you deserve that? Do you? Over words, over an opinion, over your train of thought. I honestly believe that that is highly disgusting. I don't think anybody should receive a threat against their life because somebody disagrees with their opinion on the internet. Although the rhetoric that you're pushing is quite dangerous. Still don't believe that you deserve that, and I am so sorry that you are going through that. But let's keep it a buck. In this video, you tried to dumb down the points that you were trying to make in the last video. It wasn't just about you spreading awareness about preventative measures when it comes to certain crimes being committed against women. You compared an entire demographic of black women to dirt and rocks. You said that you would teach your sons that there's a difference between diamonds and dirt and rubies and rocks. Pretty much saying, if you don't see the value in that woman, do as you will. That's pretty much what it is. They don't deserve the same protection and respect that you receive because they don't walk on the same moral ground as you do, or they don't have the same lifestyle as you do. That solidifies the train of thought of an aggressor, because most of the time, an aggressor doesn't see that value in said person that they're harming. You solidified it. Those were the points that got people riled up. Those were the points that ruffled a lot of feathers. You could have been a beacon of light for a lot of women. You could have gotten on here and said preventative measures that you have learned from the men in your family, from your protective circle. Because let's be honest, just like you said, you're living in reality. Your reality is not similar to somebody else's. You have women out here that grew up without fathers, that do not have uncles, that were born into small families, that do not have brothers or a lot of male figures in their life. And some women have male figures in their life, but they were the predators. You decided to exclude them and compare them to less value than what you perceive yourself to be. It has nothing to do with how they view themselves and the value that they see in themselves. You don't see value in those type of women, the women that dress provocatively, the women that are sexually liberated. Instead of saying that you don't see the value, you try to flip it and say they don't see value within themselves, and we know that that's not true. That is the irony. You should be able to say what you want to say on the internet without your life being threatened. Just like a woman that does not have the same lifestyle as you should be able to dress and do whatever she wants to do without worrying about harm coming to her, especially when what they are doing and how they're living their life does not cause any type of bodily harm or physical harm. They should be left alone, just like you should be left alone. In your previous post, you made it seem like those that do not have the same type of circle that you have lack common sense, as if they don't know how to protect themselves. A lot of women are victims of assault and other types of crimes. I'm quite sure they have learned how to protect themselves. And even the people in close proximity with them probably picked up on a few tips from them as well. Women are not as weak and feeble as a lot of other women believe that we are. There's nothing wrong with sharing how you should protect yourself. You know, don't go to an ATM late at night, go out in a group, don't go out alone, especially at night, blah, 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 blah. That's perfectly fine. But why demean the women that you simply feel like they're not living life correctly when it comes to societal guidelines? The answer is not always going to be from a man, because that's just not the reality of a lot of women. But that's it. That's the post. That's the post.
So you guys watched the video, and you also watched the one creator that I feel like she summed up some of my thoughts. She said some things I won't have to say, so I just, put that there. But these are my thoughts, right? She actually believed that she was just advising women to take precautionary measures, preventative measures, but what she actually did was borderline victim blame. I know it's 2023, all this vocabulary, gaslights, narcissistic, victim blaming. I understand, please. That's a trigger word for a lot of people. I get it, but just hear me out. She went on to compare a certain group of women to dirt and rocks, which basically means if you don't see value in someone, then you can do as you please. Treat them in any way that you want to. You can slap them, hit them with a brick, whatever. And they also don't deserve to be protected because they're just, you know, all that up and down in the streets is death and wrecks. And in the same breath, she compared another group, a group that she belongs in, right, to diamonds and rubies. Shine bright like a diamond, shine bright like a diamond, like diamond in the sky. Y'all, how are diamonds made? How are rubies made? These things are basically pressurized rocks that human beings decided to make valuable, right? Tomorrow, if someone that had the power decided that diamonds and rubies weren't valuable anymore, you can bet it that they will be more accessible, and then they'll end up worthless. The way she believes dirt and rocks are. Dirt and rocks are very essential in a way that, you know, nobody really thinks about. They're just rocks, dirt, whatever. But they're extremely important. You see, value, right? Just like beauty, I believe value is in the hand of value is also in the eye of the beholder. What's valuable to me might not be valuable to you, right? Like they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. That's what people in this space that have this discourse fail to understand, that value is not an objective thing when it comes to humans. Even to products. If those people who had the power to do that, if they decided tomorrow that I want dirt and rocks to be the thing, what's not going to happen to those diamonds and rubies? When she has a son, she's going to teach her son the difference between dirt and rocks and diamonds and rubies. Why not teach your son that everybody is inherently valuable by the right of being a human being, and to see everyone as deserving of respect? What is so wrong in doing that? You're not telling your son to go into the line of fire for anybody. You are just saying, hey, son, don't go around disrespecting women because you find that one is valuable and one is not. What is the criteria of valuable or value to you? What she fails to understand is that this analogy, the analogy that she seems to be so proud of, is rudimentary at best. It lacks depth and it also lacks nuance. In my humble humility opinion, she doesn't understand that with that logic, if somebody decided that she can be categorized as dirt or rock, then they have the right to treat her as such, right? And I hope your father and your four brothers are going to always be there to protect you when somebody decides, I think she's a rock, I'm going to kick her. Oh, sorry. Silly me. Somebody like her, Diamond, would never be in that kind of situation in the first place. So anyways, I believe that preventative measures are helpful, and I have mentioned some that I found helpful in my previous video. However, I do not believe in shaming, victim blaming, insulting people, being condescending. I don't believe in that. And I don't believe in placing myself above a certain group of people and certain situations. I shared my top, I think, 4 preventative measures that I take to make sure that I'm always good, right? There are ways to navigate around that, because it's not every day that a man will be there to protect you. It seems like the chances of that are slim. I don't even think I've ever had a man step in a situation to protect me from anything. I've had to figure out my way out, or figure my way out of those situations on my own. So I've never really expected a man specifically to do anything for me in situations like that, because my experience, they just stand there and look. They just stand there and watch. So I usually had to, you know, change gears, change my mind, because I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised at that day. I can still remember it as vividly as yesterday. I fought myself out of a situation with a guy that was me, and when I was able to get free, I look around and I see all these men, all these guys just standing there watching. And that day I had something clicked in my mind, like, bro, this is what life is like. This is my final message. You are not responsible for the actions of other people, especially when they know right from wrong. Y'all, we are all trying to get by, we're all trying to survive and even thrive. So do not beat yourself up if you get caught up in some mess. Nobody wants to be in a bad situation willingly, right? But sometimes shit happens, and honestly, you have to find a way out of it. There's nothing I can really advise besides be ready to defend yourself, whatever that might look like, because anything can happen. No matter how safe you feel sometimes, and no matter how careful you're being, some days are just not your days. And I know, like, sometimes it sucks. Sometimes I feel like, oh my god, and how did I end up here? But then you have to shift gears. Nobody's coming to save me. It would be nice if they did, but nobody's coming to save me. That's the mindset. I have to get out of the situation that I found myself in. I know you all must have a lot of thoughts on everything discussed today. Please feel free to share them in the comment section below, respectfully. I know how some of y'all are in the YouTube streets. Please be respectful. We don't have to agree. There doesn't need to be insults. You don't need to be calling anyone a clown. You don't need to be calling anyone a fool, an idiot, kinikon, whatever. You don't need to do all of that to get your point across, okay? I know we're going to have a lot of thoughts on everything that's been discussed here today. So please respectfully put your thoughts in the comment section and let's discuss. Thank you all so much again for watching, especially if you made it this far. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'm going to catch you all in the next one. Bye!